Hey, Indian Creek 8th grade students. This is Professor Blazek, and I'd like to welcome you to another installment in our Road to a 4 series looking at your Civil War trading cards assessment. So let's begin by first looking at the assignment itself. You are going to choose 3 different subjects to design trading cards on, and these are going to be people, groups, or events from the Civil War era. You have to pick at least one person or group and one event, so this will cover 2 out of your 3 cards, and then your final subject is up to you. So it can be another person or group, can be another event, whatever you like. You're going to then research your subjects by using credible sources and take notes from your research, and then you're going to use this information to create your trading cards. So this is your opportunity to look a little bit more deeply into the people or battles or laws that you found interesting from the Civil War era. We focused mainly on overview in class. This is where you can really dig a bit deeper. Now, the importance of using reliable research sources can't be stated enough. And when you're doing your research, you want to try to avoid using .com websites. And the reason for this is that these websites are often run by businesses. There can be a lot of bias or even inaccurate information on them. So instead, look to use .gov, .edu, or .org websites. This will really help minimize the chance that you will find information that is inaccurate. You can also use online encyclopedias. These are very helpful, but try to avoid Wikipedia because even though a lot of the information that's on Wikipedia is true, it's still able to be edited by anybody in the world. So there is a chance that the information you find there could be inaccurate. So you can use Wikipedia to sort of point you in the right direction for other research, but you don't want to use Wikipedia itself for that reason. So now let's talk about the learning goals that you're going to be assessed on in this assignment. The first learning goal that you're going to be asked to meet is to explain multiple causes and effects of historical events. So to meet this learning goal, ask yourself, what was the cause of your trading card event? And then what were the consequences that your event had on the Civil War and at history at large? If you're looking at a battle, did this battle lead to battles in the future? Was it an important victory for one side or the other? Why was it important to this time period and to history overall? The second learning goal that you're going to be assessed upon is your ability to use questions about individuals and groups to analyze why they and the developments they shaped are seen as historically significant. So to meet this learning goal, think about the impacts that your trading card subject had on the Civil War and history in general, and why was this impact important? Why, in other words, are we still learning about this person or this group so long in the future from when they were taking part in this time period? What did they do that had such an impact on the Civil War? By keeping these things in mind, you will be well on your way to meeting both of your learning goals. So once you've decided on your subjects, you're going to be doing research and filling out information sheets for each of your subjects. So during your research, you want to make sure that you can complete these areas of your information sheet. First of all, obviously, you want to get the name of your subject down. And as we talked about before, the historical significance or causes and effects. So when you're looking at a person or group, why are they seen as historically important? And for an event, what were the causes and impacts of that event? Again, just keeping in mind, why do these things or these people still matter? Why are they so important? And then when you're designing your trading cards, much like typical trading cards, you're going to assign your subjects hit points. This is kind of like a strength number. You're going to give them special moves, just like cards in other trading card games would have special moves. And you want to make sure to explain these choices. Don't just write them down and not give any other information. So when you're working through your information sheets, always use direct quotations from your sources if you can. This is a way to make sure that the information that you're getting and the information that you're giving are 100% accurate because you're taking them directly from your sources. And then, as I touched upon before, just always make sure to explain the choices you make about your trading cards. So why did you give your subject 90 hit points instead of 70? Why did you choose to give them a specific super move? All of these trading card choices need to be explained on your information sheet. So once you've finished your research, you'll move on to designing your trading cards. And let's look now at the requirements for those cards. So each card is going to have two sides, just like a regular trading card. On the front side, you need the following things. You need a picture or drawing of your subject. You need to give some type of date. So if it's a person or group, give a birth or death or creation date, or an event date if we're talking about a battle or a law. You're going to give your subject hit points from 1 to 100, and then obviously support your choice. So for example, if you choose General McClellan, we know that he should not be 100 hit points because he was not a good military commander. You're also going to give each subject special moves. So these are unique attributes of your person or battle. And then you can also explain these moves as if they would be particularly dangerous to any other cards as well. So if you, for example, were playing the Battle of Gettysburg and you were to play it against, say, George Pickett, that would probably be far more effective than other Confederate cards because we know that Pickett's charge took place at Gettysburg and it was a major failure and lost a lot of Confederate lives. And then optionally, so you don't have to do this, but just to make it a little more realistic, you can add a weakness or a resistance. So are there any cards your subject would perform especially well or poorly against? Again, we gave an example earlier on the Battle of Gettysburg and George Pickett. This is something that you can do for any trading card if you would like. And then on the back side of your trading card is where you're going to give general information about your subject. So you can think about the who, what, when, where, why, and how. You also want to include biographical information, background information, the location if it's a battle, or give the birth location of a person. And you can add additional pictures or graphics if you would like as well. So these are the requirements for the two sides for each of your trading cards. Now let's talk about how you're going to be graded on this project. So we have the two learning goals listed at the top. You'll see that this is the rubric that is going to be used for each of your trading cards. And it's on a scale of 1 to 4, just like all of our standards-based assessments, where 4 is exceeding the standards and 1 is beginning to work toward the standards. And you can see the performance indicators given in the right-hand column to give you an idea of what you need to do to perform at each level. So if you're looking to get a 3, you can see exactly what you have to do. If you're looking to be a little bit more enterprising and aim for a 4, you can also see the indicators for that level as well, just so there's no mystery about how you're going to be graded on this assignment. So we are going to end here with an example card, and this is done on Stonewall Jackson. So this would be an example of a front side of a Stonewall Jackson card. You can see that there's a picture. There are his hit points given in the upper right corner of 90 because Jackson was one of the best, if not the best, commander for the Confederate Army. We also gave him 2 special moves, and each one does extra damage against other particular cards, as well as a weakness or resistance. And so this would be a weakness to the Battle of Chancellorsville because we know that Jackson was shot by one of his own men following the battle. So these are all things that you need to make sure you include on the front side of your trading cards. On the back side of your trading cards is where you give your general information. So you can see that Jackson's name, his date of birth, and his place of birth are given, as well as important victories that he had, and a just short biographical summary. I won't go through and read everything, but you can see that there are quotations used from my sources, and there is just an overview of why Jackson was so important. This would all be taken from my information sheet and just put right there into my trading cards. So this is what you want your trading cards to look like. Obviously, we want you to be creative, make them look the way that you want. This is just showing all of the things that you need to include when you're designing. So then some final tips to leave you with on this assignment would be, again, to always make sure to use your research to create the information on your cards. You want to have everything that you're saying on your cards be inspired by what you found from your research and what you've learned about your subjects. You also always want to make sure to support your answers as much as possible. I know this is something that it seems like we are talking about all the time, but this is really the mark of really deep understanding, is that you can always give support for what you have to say. So as we talked about before, the hit points can vary for a specific subject. Obviously, not every person who designs a card on, say, the Battle of Gettysburg is going to give the same hit point number. But as long as you can support why you chose that specific number, you'll be just fine. That's what we really want to see, is your ability to support your ideas. And then if you're ever wondering about grading, you can always look back at the performance indicators from earlier in this video or on your assignment sheet, just to make sure that you're meeting the requirements for the score that you want to earn. So that's all we have for this video in our Road to 4 series on our Civil War trading cards assessment. This has been Professor Blazek, and I will see you next time.